Also for you on the grid, election day in Ghana. John Mahama trying to retain the presidency. Or is this now the moment for the opposition leaders Nana Akufo-Addo? A tight race expected, but perhaps more importantly, a clean race. We're going to explore why.
Are you watching from Ghana? What issues do you think are most important in this election? Connect with us with the hashtag AJNewsGrid.
Good stuff there from Nicholas Harkin as he talks about unemployment. I've had a comment on the WhatsApp line from someone saying the two major issues are the stabilisation of the economy and unemployment. Unemployment's a big challenge, especially for the youth. And a Twitter comment, we're tired of the numerous misuse of state funds and international loans due to bloated budgets and shady government deals. Some strong feelings coming through on social media. You can contribute, of course, hashtag AJNewsGrid. You might like to talk to Leah. I would. At Leah Harding, AJE. How are you, Leah?
I'm doing well.
What have you got on this story for us?
Well, if I could boil it down to what this election is all about, I would say it's all about the pinky. This is Nehemiah here, who Nicholas Hake just interviewed. He's been leading a very strong social media campaign and took a picture of his pinky dipped in hot pink ink to prove that he's voted. In the States, we have the I voted sticker. In Ghana, a different story here, something that we keep seeing on social media reoccurring. And like Nicholas was saying, a lot of first-time voters with different issues on the ballot coming up for a lot of the younger generation. One of the questions we were asking you earlier today on Twitter was whether or not you think there were specific issues that needed to be addressed impacting the elections the most. I've been chatting with Isaac throughout the day here. He's a university student in Ghana. He kept mentioning the need for better and cheaper education, for better housing conditions. I asked him if he's been impacted at all, if life is hard or normal for him. He says, you know, it's okay so far, but he knows that he will be better off if the government is more proactive and takes these issues that the young generation, the young vote, are really pushing in this election. For many first-time voters like Jamila here, she's saying she's just happy to be able to vote because of this monumental election here with so many people who are under this threshold of being 25 or younger. More than half of the population of Ghana, here's a chart for you, are under 25 right here. This is a huge chunk of the population of China, Ghana. Quite a few also under the age of 14. They'll have a generation to look up to in this election for when it's their turn to vote. But you could also argue this is the WhatsApp generation. We've had a lot of great content sent to us from our WhatsApp number 501-111-49 with the area code +974 that Kamal always talks about, and a lot of content from Ghana. We got these little voice pops earlier today. Have a listen.
One of the main issues people are looking at is the stabilization of the Ghanaian economy, a challenge which the ruling party NDC has battled with since it came to power, even though it has made great strides in the area of infrastructural development.
As a fresh graduate, I'm concerned about the high rate of unemployment and the high cost of living in our country. I'm looking for a government that will give us better social intervention to solve all these.
And the main problem with our politics is that there is so much propaganda, and this is leading to serious tensions everywhere. I'm just praying that at the end of the day, the exercise will go on smoothly. I urge all Ghanaians to respect the rule of law.
I also voted because I want a government that will come who will put the needs of this country first, not his personal needs. A government who is not corrupt, or let's say a president who is not corrupt, a president who will not come and make everything about himself and family.
We're going off the grid now. A story off the grid, Colombia, where there is a nationwide protest after a 7-year-old girl was raped and murdered. Now, the man suspected of killing Juliana Andrea Samboni checked himself into a clinic for a cocaine overdose after her death. Juliana's murder rattled Colombia and Latin America, with protesters calling for more attention on violence against women, also known as femicide. Leah, this is a grim story. Off the grid, as we say. I don't think we've really seen this in mainstream media yet, and it's a 7-year-old girl who was raped.
7. It's hard to process the fact that she was so young, brutally raped and murdered. This is the picture here, though, that is being used to represent young Juliana, the hashtag Yo Soy Juliana. There are pictures of this 7-year-old on social media, but at Al Jazeera, we did not think that it was good to use those pictures of her, especially out of respect for her family. So social media felt similarly and made this ubiquitous-looking cartoon girl, because at the end of the day, the point here is that this type of brutal murder and rape can happen to anyone, and it happens to quite a few people, especially in Latin America. This has struck a nerve, but not just with women, especially on social media. We have pictures of men sending in their photos holding this sign saying, "I am Juliana," that this conversation against femicide, what Kamal mentioned, this brutality against women, is an ongoing conversation, and the outcry out of Latin America has been something that we've not been able to ignore. So many pictures of people saying, despite my age, despite my gender, I am Juliana. I represent the future for women in this ongoing conversation here. The president of Colombia even tweeted about it, Juan Manuel Santos, saying that he hopes that the full weight of justice is felt by those who are responsible here, translating that tweet for you. But he brought in this very interesting hashtag ni uno más, which means not one more women who should be subjected to this type of violence, which brings in a much broader conversation here, a conversation that actually started in Argentina in June 2015 when a teenage girl was brutally raped and murdered and found under her boyfriend's porch. That's when this conversation happened against femicide and against violence against women. But in the last day here, the conversation has been reignited here. Of course, in Argentina, they're remembering why this hashtag started. And then you have the hotspot on our map here, of course, in Colombia with this story, something that our colleagues at AJ Stream did earlier this year. They did a countdown every 30 hours, one person in Guatemala dies, every 24, 6 in Mexico, and every 30 hours here, another one dies in Argentina, an ongoing crisis all around the world. But some women in Mexico City are taking justice into their own hands with some punk rock and confetti, and our AJ Plus colleagues did this video earlier this year. We thought it was worth resurfacing and showing you.
Vamos caminando por la calle cuando un acosador nos acosa de cualquier manera, que puede ser corremos hacia esa persona, tomamos las pistolas de confeti, damos un disparo, se encienden las bocinas y cantamos Sexista Punk.
Al concierto, eso que tú hiciste hacia mí se llama acoso. Si tú me haces eso de esta forma, yo respondo.
Nosotras tenemos que responder. Y si en esa respuesta podemos incitar a más mujeres a que lo hagan, eso es como el ideal.
Recomendamos que sea divertido y que no te quedes con la sensación de la violencia que acabas de sentir, para que tú te vayas tranquila y sepas que puedes seguir teniendo un día increíble.
Definitivamente no creemos que vamos a cambiar el mundo, pero con toda certeza sabemos que ha cambiado el nuestro.